Hello there and welcome. This is an opinion piece how in hindsight Company of Heroes 2's UI could have been a lot better. Now look at the bottom of your screen. That is a third of the screen space covered by a black and grey static image with bullet holes in it. Its sole purpose is to tell you that pioneers are a basic combat troop. If you've played the game for more than 5 minutes, that then becomes redundant information, and it could have been a hover over tooltip that only appears when you need it to. Also, by the way, I think if you have more than one unit selected, they kind of appear together there. Again, not covering much of the screen. This is just the highlight piece that I'll bring you into the debate using. There's other elements that I can talk about, and I will be talking about. But one UI change, which was absolutely fantastic, let me just bring it up for you now, was this one. This is Supreme Commander, as it was launched in 2007. This covers a third of the screen, much like Company of Heroes 2, but 2 patches later, Gas-Powered Games then made this iteration. That is a hell of a lot better. Look at from the translucency of the actual backgrounds to the fact that it only covers around 10 to 20% of the screen rather than a whopping third is a huge improvement. You can see a lot more of the game and you still get the same information. If you notice, all the same buttons are on this UI, just taking up less space. So without further ado, let me get on to my artistic interpretation of how the UI could have looked for Company of Heroes 2, and it's this. Now I'll just let that settle in for a second. I won't even talk over it, because it's obviously quite a drastic change. Now the first thing you'll notice, of course, is all the blank space is gone. All the redundant space covering the screen is gone. And then a lot of the assets are moved around the screen. The reason I have done this is for prioritization and segregation. So this here is the unit selection reel, and this is the most important element of the Company of Heroes UI. A lot of games have it at the bottom of the screen in RTSs these days, and that's because it's vital that you're able to see the most vital information straight away, right in the center, and that's where we'd put it if we were to do things again, in my opinion. You'll then notice the minimap is actually a lot larger now, but it actually doesn't cover any more of the screen. How is that possible? Well, follow my cursor with me. You see this area here? That is the actual map. This area here is the allocated space. The map in Company of Heroes 2 covers 25% of the allocated space, which in my opinion is borderline criminal. So if we were to do it again, we'd tilt it, well, we'd untilt it 45 degrees and make it the square it should be, and put it in a border. May not be quite as aesthetically pleasing, but because it doesn't have this kind of hue around it, but in my opinion, a map is a utilitarian expression of navigation. It should be about, what's happening here? Ah, I see. And if you've got eyesight as bad as mine, look at the size of these glasses. You want visual acuity. You want to be able to see exactly what's going on at any one time. Look how much cleaner it is when it's expanded. You can see so much more and so much more quickly. Top left, why is the commander reel on its own with the experience wheel? Well, because it's a unique element. That's where it should be. It should be isolated. It doesn't have anything to do with anything around it currently. It doesn't have anything to do with the map, the unit, portrait, or the tooltip. So it may as well be in its own isolated area in a clean position. Moving to the center up here, ain't broke, don't fix it. Top right, similar to the command reel, the unit portrait is a unique element that is currently has nothing to do with the stuff around it. So we may as well have it on its own in a nice clean area of the screen in the corner, because nobody really looks at the corners very much. Onto the resources, I've gone back to a Company of Heroes 1 block, where it's all on top of one another in a more consolidated area, meaning you're playing and you can very quickly look at it to get a full impression At the moment, it's in a horizontal line, and it's not as easy to look at. I do understand why it's there, though. It's there, so it's stacked on top of one another. You can see how much manpower compared to your pool. I'm a pro player, so of course I have 3,600 manpower at any one time. You could still do that. You would, in this case, you'd hover over it here, and it would appear in a ghost block next to the actual. So it'd be more like budget versus actual kind of situation, where you've got your budget information and you see what you need next to it. So you can tell I'm an accountant. So one stack next to the other, perfect for assessing a situation, and much better than it is now. This is another case of ain't broke, don't fix it. This is the command grid. It's fine as it is. Classic place to put it. So this is my UI. This is how I'd improve things, and I'm eager to have your opinion in the comments. How would you improve things, or do you agree with my interpretation? This is just, as I say, a theoretical video, and it's just good to get an idea of what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.